Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Arena Gauntlet League match. You can see by the title that today's match is match number 13 of what could be up to 30 matches here in the league. And we are on a roll, to say the least. We're 7-0 in our last 7, and we're looking to continue it here today. If you don't know what this is and you stumbled across this video, the top of the description gives you a link to my week 0 introduction to this league, what the mechanics are, how everything works, the fact that it's a sealed deck build, so on and so forth, and how we got to where we are today. And the last 12 matches are all posted as the last 12 videos here on the channel, so go ahead and check those out as well if you want to catch up. But for match number 13, the deck you see on your screen now is the deck that we will be using in our 13th match of the league. We've got a little bit of a Hungry Ghoul, Involuntary Employment, Eaten Alive, Steal and Sack package, along with Goblins and Krenko just kind of going nuts and doing the red-black aggro thing. I love this deck. It's been doing great for us so far. Let's hope today continues. Now, before we jump into the match today, here is a look at where we stand. We are sitting in 13th place. And there were 121 members in this league at the beginning, but we're getting to the point where when you reach your 11th loss, you get eliminated. And in week 3, that means some people have reached their 11th loss, and we are down to 115. We've had 6 people eliminated so far, and we are looking to be among the top 8 and the last 8 remaining. Still a long way to go between now and then. Today is just match number 13, but through 12 matches, we're 9-3. And we take that. And in this match, we will be going up against JessieKroyzer, who has a record of 5-9, who sits in 87th place in the league, playing a straight black-white deck, just like us playing 2 colors. Like I said, these opponents are relatively randomly generated most of the time, unless I direct challenge somebody, but most of the time I use the Discord bot to help us find randomly selected matches, and our opponent sits a lot lower than us, but that doesn't mean much because that means they have an additional 6 comeback packs worth of cards in their pool that they're allowed to build with. So just because these records are far apart, don't take that to mean that these games aren't going to be close, because I almost get a little bit more worried when I see people with large numbers of losses, because that means they have so many good cards and so many cards to choose from in their pool. So we are in 13th, they're in 87th. We're looking to get our 10th win, which 10 wins would outdo our previous win total in the Duskmore League, where I ended up 9-11. So let's see if we can get that here today. Enjoy the match. Okay, we get to go second here, and unfortunately, we've got to send this one back. It doesn't do a darn thing until turn 4, and we need creatures on turn 1, 2, and 3 for this to even do anything. So let's send this one back, and yeah, this one's a lot better. I mean, I say a lot. It's better. It's a nice little combo right here with Ghoul, Familiar, and Blood Witch. Probably going to send back the Katana. And hope that this can kind of take us to victory here. So keep 6, send back the Katana here. There are a lot of rares and mythics in this pool for Jessie, as they have 9 losses and a lot of comeback packs. So not really liking my chances. That's what's great about this league. It's like a negative feedback loop, like Mario Kart, you know, where when you're in last, you get more packs to help you catch up back to first. Which is good and bad at the same time. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Burst Lightning that now. I don't like the life gain. My deck is a little bit more aggressive here, so go ahead and play the Hungry Ghoul. Black and white. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 black and white rares and mythics in Jessie's pool. So this should be fun. Celestial Armor, double Giada. It'll be interesting. Sword of the Realms was one of them as well. So +2/+0 and Vigilance, and when it dies, it goes back to the hand, and then it could also play as a 4/4. Yeah, that works. Let's go ahead and play our cat. +2/+0 and Vigilance, and when the creature dies, it goes back to the hand. Goodness gracious, that's such a good card. Hopefully no exile removal. That would be very nice. We have a nice little combo package going here. Next turn we can attack with the 3/3 ghoul. What is that? As long as it's a creature, it has lifelink. Okay, so they were just trying to get an extra card because it cycles itself when it comes in. So let's do Blood Witch and Ghoul here. And attack with both. If I sacrifice the 9 Lives Familiar now, it doesn't net any damage. But they're not getting priority. It all works with the Blood Witch, comes back on my end step. I wonder if I can, if they have like a removal spell or something, I can do it on their turn and get it on their end step. So let's do this. Oh, as long as enchant and permanent is an equipment, it has equipped creature has lifelink. Oh, that's such a problem for me. I might have should have left stab up, because if they play like a 2-drop and then go to equip, I would very much like to have it die. But yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I was worried about. This is going to go back to their hand after I stab it now. But I really can't have it stick around as a 5/2 flying lifelink. Like, that's just too much of a problem. Okay, Incinerating Blast. Can't cast that. So, yeah, you get to recast the Valkyrie. But I need to push damage here quickly. So we'll get in, put them to effectively 6, but they can't replay the Valkyrie and equip it here because they don't have a creature card in their graveyard, so that's at least something. And if I draw a land, I win. Right? Sure, go to my turn, I guess. Siphoner. Maybe there's a way this is lethal somehow. They have to block the ghoul. So they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this should be lethal here. So let's do this. It doesn't have a lifelink or anything, does it? Nope. We'll get on in. Block the ghoul. Take 4. And then sack my creatures and drain. And that'll do it. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this did a pretty good job getting them back into it as much as it could, but we were able to fight through the lifelink there. Thankful for a stab off the top. Yeah, I don't have a sideboard still. I guess that's the disadvantage of continually winning, is that I really don't have anything else I can be doing here. I mean, Pilfer's the only card I ever consider, and I really never bring it in, so there's nothing that I have that can kill equipment, except like Banishing Light, but I'm not going to splash anything, so it's just black or red cards here. As well as like Meteor Golem, but that's too expensive. I mean, Soulstone Sanctuary, no. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I'll stay with what I got. And hope it can outpace some of the large number of rares and mythics in Jessie's pool here. All I was gonna say was give me a keepable 7, but unfortunately the magic gods were not kind enough to me here, so send this one back. And to keep that, and I think I just gotta send the 5-drop back. That's about all I can do. Interesting decisions continually as to which 2-drop I should play. That could be a big issue. Yeah, all of these are 2s here. I think I'll play the ghoul, I guess, but yeah, if they've got good amount of life gain, that's gonna be. There's double cat collector here. There's one dazzling angel in the pool. Double Sky Knight Squire. This deck is really good. Makes me worry a lot. I don't have the greatest of hands. Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that interaction. Although, is there a way to get it back now? Goldvein pick? Sure. I don't really know which one to play here. I mean, I guess I could play this in the event that I draw some important 4-drop or something, but guess I'll just play the cavalry. Helpful Hunter. That's nice. Works well with the Goldvein pick. Makes it a 2/2. Question then becomes, am I willing to trade if they do want to equip? Or do they draw another 2-drop here? What is that? +1/+1, and when it leaves, it makes a 1/1. And now it's a 3/3. Yeah, gosh, see, this is all difficult to get through. I can't really do anything about this. Sure. Yeah, I'll just basically just play out my hand and pass it back. Can't really do anything else. And it's not a good spot when they've got you stonewalled at 20 life here. Okay, makes sense. This thing does have the ability to get quite a bit out of hand. And they did it when I didn't have the Hungry Ghoul mana up, which makes sense as well. I mean, am I willing to trade like the Hungry Ghoul for that, and then they get a 1/1 flyer that they can also make into a 2/2 flyer? But the Goldvein pick is going to continually get them treasure. They're at the point where the mana doesn't really matter to me right now, because they've got enough mana to basically cast anything they want in their deck, I would assume. Stab. Well, that's not horrible. Potentially. I mean, I can block and then stab, and then it dies. I keep my Siphoner, but they do get a 1/1. They turn into a 2/2 flyer because of the Goldvein pick. So for that reason, I'm not going to tap the Cavalry to give the Siphoner haste, even though technically, mathematically, this would deal 2 damage and I would also gain a life. But it requires me to tap both of these. So I'm only keeping it back just as a blocker here. And I really got to hope they don't top deck some really good 5-6 mana cards, you know? If the Hungry Ghoul dies, I really do not have a lot going for me. So we'll see. Yeah. Can't do anything about that one. So I gotta let that happen. So the question becomes, would I rather stab their flyer or the helpful hunter? I mean, if I stab the helpful hunter, they get a 1/1 flyer and then they equip the gold vein pick onto it and it's a 2/2. In which case I still attack with both of these things, I think. I'm willing to trade that off here, so yeah, I think I'm just gonna let them get their 1/1 flyer. And like I said, I still have attacks here. It's kind of a top deck war at this point. And I feel like their deck is going to top deck better than ours will, but you never know. Well, that's actually pretty good. So let's equip that here and then offer the trade, I think. Actually, no, let's equip it here. And then they don't really have good blocks on the cavalry. They can block the siphoner, take 4 down to 13. Technically 16 because of the food in play, but, you know. They missed a land last turn, so we know one of these is not a land, more than likely. Or they were just holding it to bluff. That's also a possibility. Ooh, Macabre Waltz. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's see if they choose to get rid of one of these 2 creatures they got, or whatever this random card is here. Okay, got rid of the Pride Mate. Maybe just Macabre Waltzing the Hunter, which does get another card in hand. Sure. Land and another card. Okay. This tells me they might have a 3-drop to play using the treasure here, which would not be the greatest news. Okay, it's a 2-drop. Moving the gold vein pick to the Valkyrie does prevent me from attacking with the Siphoner here, though. I don't know if they'll want to do that. Onto the cat. That also does that. So if I attack here, I can kill the cat. The Valkyrie can't block. So I don't think they're going to block here. So we just got to get in here. And then pass the turn. And once again, just a top deck war at this point. There's a lot of cards over there I don't like seeing. eat the food. Tells me they didn't draw cat collector, because they do have two cat collectors. Makes sense. See if they want to get aggro. Looks like they do. That tells me this is probably a creature. Or at least something relevant that can hold back the Siphoner. I don't think they win this race unless they have another card that can kind of hold me back here. Okay, still get priority? No. So that means I have the ability to attack now. And pass it back. Giada, okay. That's a little tough. That makes my attacks tougher. I need to draw some sort of good removal spell. A stab, an eaten alive. Shivan Dragon wouldn't be horrible. A 3/5. Yeah, I can't attack through that. All these flyers, huh? Okay, they're willing to race here. What's that last card? Vampire Gourmand. Hey. Maybe next turn that could actually be lethal with the katana here. I think I'm going to trade Siphoner for the hunter here. Unless they're willing to chump block. So we'll do this. Drain them down to 6. Looks like they'll chump and bounce, more than likely. Sure. I guess I could have given the Gourmand haste. That might have been better. So this is actually lethal next turn with the Gourmand if they don't have anything. Because next turn I attack, I sacrifice the cavalry. They take 1 from this, 4 from that, and 1 more from attacking with that. Okay. Cross your fingers, no life gain, no removal spell. They had nothing last turn, so it has to be... Oh, that is life gain for the Siphoner here. I think I blew it last turn by not giving the Gourmand haste. Right? Oh, this is close. Depends on what I draw. I'm dead on board on the backswing, so I have to take some sort of action. But that is a life gain spell off the top. That makes my life a lot more difficult. Yeah, that makes sense as well. I guess if you were going to attack, probably should have attacked first before moving the Goldvein pick, but either way, like I said, I'm dead on board next turn unless some crazy things happen here. Okay, they chose not to attack. That's not going to do it. I can put him to 1, but then the Savior puts him back up to 4, but the Gourmand is still lethal. So let's attack. Sacrifice the cavalry. What can I find? Another Blood Witch. Yeah, not horrible. And end the turn here. Turns out I did punt it by not playing the Gourmand and giving it haste, but that doesn't matter. It's one turn too late, I think. I guess they might have had us dead on board this turn if they attacked last turn with these two and that. Although I could have then attacked potentially with this. I don't know. They probably had us dead some way or another by attacking with their flyers here. I think they were just worried about this unblockable life gain drain thing going on. But I think mathematically they had us. They say math is for blockers, but in this case, it looks like math is for attackers. Yeah, no blocks, take 6. Got all the treasure in the world. Don't kill the Gourmand, please. I think the last card in hand is a land. I mean, they top deck the Savior, and then they top deck the Shriekmass, and they haven't double spelled any of those turns. Yeah, there's the land. So that should do it, I think, right? So then we go to combat, we attack here, we attack here. We sacrifice. Doesn't really matter, does it? None of this has lifelink or anything. No, flying, flying and vigilance, flying, and flying. So we just sack this one. Hey, you're too late to the party. The Shriekmass eats the Siphoner. The Gourmand is unblockable. And that, my friends, is a win. Oof, man, this deck is just so resilient. We find a way through. They had a lot of really good flyers there. I think, Jesse, if you're watching this back at some point, I think you had lethal on me. Granted, you didn't know what I had, so you might have been playing correctly as far as holding back your creatures at some point there. But yeah, deck is very resilient and was able to get through with an unblockable. I could have had it a few turns earlier if I had given it haste, but that was pretty risky if you drew removal. So really good games, really tough ones there, but we'll take that win. And that win puts us all the way up into 8th place. Can we just end the league right here? Let's take a top 8. I'll take a top 8, right? No, there's still 17 matches to play. So there's a lot of time for things to go much more right or much more wrong. We will see, but we are sitting in 8th place. You can almost see the top of the leaderboard here now. And you see some names up here that like to sit near the top of the leaderboard in most of these leagues. For those of you that follow along with these leagues quite a bit. And if you don't, get used to seeing these names. They're pretty common up here. But we are 10-3. Got 2 matches left for this week. Don't have any comeback packs or anything to add to our pool because we just, well, keep on winning. And you can't really complain when you do that. Our opponent match win percentage is holding us down just a little bit over on the right. But again, all we got to do is just keep winning. And that's pretty much all we can ask for. So moved up to 8th place here today. Let's look to continue on that. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow.